organization will be on display in the final 7 regular season games. Daniel Descalso, Matt Pagnozzi, and Mr. Hamilton over at first. Speaking of young faces, they're filing into Busch Stadium. The young kids. Big crowd tonight expected. Pittsburgh in town. They've already lost 100. The Cardinals had 80 and 75. With Albert Bosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. And this last road trip, we saw history yet again with Albert Pujols, now with 40-plus home runs. And how about Daniel Descalso chipping in as well?
Well, it was interesting to see the combination of these two. As Albert's been in the league for 10 years, almost 5,700 at-bats. Descalso 0. Both of them hit over 400 on the road trip. No surprise, 9 RBIs by Albert, but 4 against Pittsburgh is a surprise for Descalso.
Pujols and Descalso in the lineup tonight against the Buccos. Charlie Morton gets the start against Kyle Lohse. Cardinals and Pirates, game 1 of a 3-game series coming up tonight. We're at Busch Stadium, game 1 of the final homestand of the regular season. Let's take a look at the matchup. The Pirates will throw a right-hander. We just saw him last week, Charlie Morton.
And he was real good last week with this curveball. He's had a rough season, but his last 3 starts have been pretty good. This is a rematch against Kyle Lohse. Kyle Lohse struggled in that game at Pittsburgh, pitched well against them, beat them earlier, but the Pirates, the worst team on the road this season.
So Morton and Lohse, one of the leaders of this team. Chris Carpenter having some fun with the bullpen guys. Ryan Franklin, a look at him coming up next. An inning and two-thirds, picking up his 26th save. 37-year-old Ryan Franklin. Here's a closer look. In the latter stages of his career, Ryan Franklin has done something virtually unprecedented. Beginning almost from scratch at age 35, Franklin has blossomed from a fringe starter into a productive middle reliever and then into a dominant all-star closer. Franklin's hope when he signed with the Cardinals 3 years ago was a spot in the rotation, but he didn't start one game. After a handful of save opportunities for the injured Jason Isringhausen, Franklin was considered an option, but never the solution for the role of Cardinals closer. That is until after Jason Mott blew a save on opening day in 2009. A week later, Franklin earned his first save of the season and never relinquished the role, but it hasn't been easy.
You know, I did pretty much every aspect of pitching that you could do, from starting to long relief to mop-up man to middle guy to setup and now closing. And I truly believe that closing is the toughest job, just because, you know, I didn't have a short memory whenever I first started doing this, and it was tough. And, you know, I think everybody has their bumps in the road and struggles here and there, and you just got to keep them to a minimum. And like you said, only remember it for about 3 or 4 hours after that and then move on.
Franklin has learned how to handle the role mentally, but he's also had to be smarter with his pitches. On any given night, Franklin will choose from an assortment of 4 pitches. Other than Kansas City's Joaquin Soria, it's hard to find a closer with such a varied repertoire, and one who doesn't hand out a lot of walks either.
Being a closer, sometimes you do kind of have to intentional, unintentional walk guys, but, you know, I don't know. I've always just been able to throw strikes with 3 or 4 different pitches, and I know that free pass can come back and haunt you really quick, so, you know, I just try to keep those to a minimum.
Ryan Franklin, like many pitchers before him, credits Dave Duncan for much of his success. According to Franklin, Duncan, who has also helped Dennis Eckersley make the transition from starter to closer, prepares his pitchers as well as any pitching coach the game has ever seen.
What he does for me, you know, personally, and the bullpen guys out here, I mean, we have meetings once at the beginning of every series against the team, you know, and go over the guys who we're getting ready to pitch against. And he gives us probably the best game plan that anybody could ever give to someone on how to get hitters out that one time. He puts in a ton of hard work as far as video and watching guys, and then he writes it down, and then we have the meeting and he passes along to us.
Ryan Franklin's success this late in his career is anything but luck. Franklin works hard to keep his body in shape and comes into every game prepared. He is, however, lucky to have played with Ichiro in Seattle, and now Matt Holliday and Albert Pujols in St. Louis. And when Franklin's time comes to put away his spikes, he'll be able to say he played with and against some of the best players ever to play the game.
I've been pretty lucky. I think that a guy from Seattle is still there, Ichiro. He might be the best left-handed hitter. You know, I'd say, I don't know if I'd say all-around hitter, but I'd say the best pure left-handed hitter is Ichiro, and then Albert, I think, is by far the best right-handed hitter in the game, so I got to play with both of them. So it's something I feel to tell my great-grandkids, hopefully one of these days.
Ryan Franklin initially thought that next year would be it. He has recanted that statement. Franklin and the Cardinals coming up tonight. Getting the call for the Redbirds, right-hander Kyle Loesch. The lefty, Trevor Miller, making some new friends prior to our first pitch. Baseball comes your way next. Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. And by Chevy's expert auto service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. Just a few moments ago here at Busch Stadium, Rasmus and Wainwright having some type of victory dance, let's hope. I haven't seen that one before.
That's a new one.
Final week, and we haven't seen that.
They could fire their choreographer.
Dancing with the Stars, 2017, Adam Wainwright. McCutcheon, Tabata, and Walker. Jones, Alvarez, and Bowker. Cedeno, Snyder, and Morton. The Pirates line up tonight. Andrew McCutcheon is hitting .284. Looks at a strike from Kyle Loesch.
Tough season for Kyle as he's 16 starts, no complete games. He's won 4, but he's beaten the Pirates. His best 3 months with that forearm surgery, and just hoping to finish strong and have a good, successful offseason and prepare for next year.
1 ball, 1 strike on McCutcheon. 16 home runs, 55 RBIs. Looks at a high breaking ball. Brian Onora, home plate umpire, and it's 60 degrees here at our game time temperature here at Busch Stadium. Very cold weekend at Wrigley Field. You have 60 degrees tonight, minus the wind. Slicing down the right field line. Alan Craig gives it a look, and it's out of play. 2-2.
Pirates are very comfortable with the top of their order. McCutcheon, Tabata. They think they're starting to develop some players after 18 losing seasons. Another 100-loss season. And they were 1 game under 500 at home this year, but only 15 road wins.
15 road wins. And John Russell and his staff, you have to wonder if they're coming back next year. Do they blow this thing up again and bring a whole new team in to try to turn things around? 3rd season as the Pirates manager, 184 and 294. But you got to have the players, don't you, Al? I mean, managers can win and lose some games for you along the way, but it comes down to players.
It really does. And After all these losing seasons of top draft picks, we talk about it a lot that they didn't, for years, they didn't try to sign the best player.
It's a good play there. High throw to Pujols. Daniel Descalso, normally a second baseman, seeing a lot of time at third, and so far so good. Holiday, Rasmus, and Craig in the outfield. Descalso, just saw him at third, then Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols along the infield. And the battery tonight, Kyle Loesch and Matt Pagnazzi. That's presented by Dobbs.
Who said he's a second baseman here? Spins and throws sets, a little high throw, but Albert can adjust at the other end.
Here's Tabata, and a swing and a miss. At 302, 4 home runs and 35 RBIs.
He's been a very good bat.
Now their everyday left fielder up the middle for a base hit.
Since the All-Star break, Tabata was second in the National League with now 87 hits. Behind Gonzalez is 92. And set up away. Little breaking ball down at the bottom, but slow enough to where he can make that adjustment, hit it hard back to the middle and on through. So they're real happy with really the first 5 in their order. They're trying to see if Bowker can make it. Starting to get some athletes, but it's all about pitching.
A guy like John Russell and his staff, will they stay in there long enough to see these guys develop? It's another question.
Obviously, they're hopeful of it. Saw Tabata, who's over 300. Here, Neil Walker is over 300. How long it's been since the last time they've had hitters that, a pair of hitters, rookies that have hit over 300? How about 100 years?
100 years.
100 years. They're attempting to become the first set of Pittsburgh rookies to hit 300 or better since Jimmy Williams. Ginger Beaumont did it over 100 years ago in 1899.
2-0 the count. Walker a switch hitter, and then you have 3 lefties in a row: Jones, Alvarez, and Bowker.
With the Cardinal left-handers in that bullpen, you sit there and you rest your arm all day, knowing you got a chance to pitch all 3.
And a 2-0 pitch. Hit out of play. How about Tony La Russa in his lineup with 3 rookies tonight? Craig, Descalso, and Pagnazzi behind the plate.
Well, Molina's shut down for the year. You might as well see what you have, and also the byproduct of making sure John Jay hits over 300.
A 2-1 pitch from Kyle Loesch.
Is the one thing when you're out of a race, you do have an opportunity to see how productive your farm system is. Are these players that you hear about, read about, can they play at this level?
And they'll start the runner on 3-1. Doesn't matter. Walk. McCutchen grounded out to start the inning. Left fielder Tabata with a base hit up the middle, and now a walk to Neil Walker, and it brings in Garrett Jones. Reds have a chance to clinch, and they are off tonight. Pirates, though, have to win.
It's not the way you want to do it. You want to celebrate on the field. And it's just a shame. It just seems like if the Cardinals would have played a little bit above 500, they may be leading the division. Cincinnati has not closed out very well in September with no pressure on them. If the Cardinals could have put some pressure on them, you wonder how they would have responded. The Cardinals head-to-head were 12-6 against the Cincinnati Redlegs.
Not a lot of intrigue with Colorado anymore, and they'll be in town for the first of 4 on Thursday. Colorado is 4.5 games out in the West. And if you think about the National League wild card, 4 games out there. Atlanta half game back of San Diego.
Right.
And San Diego half game back of San Francisco in the West.
And San Diego and San Francisco finish up the final 3 in the Bay Area.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
So Colorado, you know, if they could make a push, they could have meaningful games this weekend. But on the flip side of it, one of those clubs are going to win. San Diego or San Francisco.
1-2 pitch to Jones. Curveball hit to Pujols. He'll go to second. Out there, throw back to first, and they get the double play. 3-6-1 on the double play. Started by Albert Pujols, turned by Brendan Ryan at second, and Kyle Loesch covering the bag over at first. No score after a half inning. Left field wall and the bleachers here at Busch Stadium here in downtown St. Louis, and a look at the Cardinals lineup tonight. The chilly evening here in St. Louis. Schumacher, Craig, and Pujols, Holiday, Rasmus, Descalso, Ryan, Pagnazzi, and then Kyle Loesch. The pitcher is batting 9th. Charlie Morton, who was very effective last week against the Cardinals with a mid-90s fastball, and the hitters were talking about his breaking ball after that start, as he only picked up his 2nd win of the year.
Probably his best outing. The other one was in Chicago, or against Chicago, but his last 3 starts have been pretty good. At 3.63 ERA, his first 12, he was 1-11 in ERA over 9.5.
Another foul ball and strike 2 on Schumacher.
But he had a very good curveball, like you said, and John Russell said we saw that curveball a lot last season, but not this year.
About midway through this game, we'll visit with Isaac Bruce. The great receivers ever in NFL history will stop by. His number will be retired. And he also has a charitable foundation we'll talk about. Base hit for Schumacher. John Russell's defense tonight. Tabata, McCutcheon, and Bowker in the outfield. Alvarez, Cedeno, Walker, and Jones along the infield. And it's Morton and Snyder. The battery. Round the Horn is presented by Dobbs. When Adam Wainwright picked up win number 20, one of the biggest hits of that afternoon was from the bat of Alan Craig. 3-run homer. Then eventually he was replaced. Cardinals would use 4 different right fielders that afternoon, but Wainwright picked up win number 20.
Albert Allen made his 3rd start yesterday since his recall, his 5th stint with the ball club. He was 3 for 5 with a double and an RBI. So a big series in Chicago.
Runner goes and a base hit into right field. Schumacher to third, and I believe he hit the shortstop, rounding the bag. He's lucky he didn't collide with him. They barely touched, but I believe he hit Cedeno.
Cedeno trying to deke him. Yeah, the second baseman trying to deke him near Walker. As he's looking in, and Walker's trying to act like he's getting the throw from the third base side. There's where he ran into Cedeno. It's past the second base bank. Probably the best streak we've seen from Alan Craig since he's big leagues now. He's 7 for his last 13. He did it again yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, now Pujols sitting on 42 and looks at a pitch low.
3-run home run in the first yesterday. Turned that win around.
Now let's talk about that situation as we'll watch Pujols hit. But the second base umpire picked up on it, pointed right away at Cedeno. So I think he was going to give Skip third base regardless.
Yes. And, you know, a fielder has to allow or a runner has to allow a fielder to field the ball, but you can't get obstruct and get in the way of you run the bases and you're not involved with the play. You got to get out of the running lane.
So early chance here for one of the game's best, if not the best, Albert Pujols. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at the corners. Jammed him, popped up. Walker with the catch, and a big out there. We talked about it. He throws hard, and he got into the kitchen of Pujols.
Just facing him last week, and they're all pressing the curveball, and maybe you're a little bit surprised. That ball is up and in. It was supposed to be on the outer part of the plate, and sometimes a hitter will jam himself. Rarely does it happen to Albert, especially in an RBI situation like this, but that was the case.
So runners at the corners, 1 out now, and here's Holiday. Cardinals turn to nifty double play, 3-6-1 in the top of the first, and Morton needs a double play here. Holiday, final week, you know he'd love to get to 30 home runs.
You just saw right there almost an errant throw. Morton has 3 errors on the season, and usually when you see that, you think of it throwing errors. And then he almost threw a ball away at first.
And it also became a fairly close play with Craig not diving back in.
Holiday lost his club best 16-game hitting streak on Saturday, and he's 0 for his last 10.
Let's see how they pitch to Holiday here as we wrap up the season series with Pittsburgh. They're one of the teams that has not necessarily busted him in every single pitch. It seems like a lot of other teams, it's inside and inside, and here they set up outside.
Let's see, there's the same pitch set up outside, the ball's up and in. Asphalt command. I wonder sometime today why they even give location, because they can't hit the spot they're trying to throw to anyway.
One pitch and a double play ball out at second, and both teams have turned double plays. Cardinals at first and third, nobody out, and they can't score. No score after 1. Ranks road record for Pittsburgh 1-7. At home, though, much better, 10-5. We saw that last week against St. Louis. And as Al told you earlier, this is a team that, and it's worth repeating, that on the road, 15 wins total, 15-59.
And it's even worse. In their last 23 road games, they've only won two times.
Why do you think that is? Where you have a team that at home actually has played okay. Not great, but
one game under 500.
Right around 500.
Well, with so many young players, a lot of times it's undisciplined, bad habits after games. But, most of these players today, are really, they treat it as a job, and they don't have the habits of older players.
Guys like yourself when you played.
The habits of old players like myself.
That's probably what kept you in the game too, Al.
Well, it did.
Got your mind off the game, so go have a little fun.
People may have a hard time believing this, but that's how we learned the game. When I came into the sport, if you didn't drink, you couldn't be trusted. But
this ball is hammered. Deep right field. Alan Craig is back, looks up, and it's gone. Over the bullpen, now drops into that Cardinal bullpen. Pedro Alvarez with number 14 and RBI number 57.
He was one of the leading candidates for Player of the Week, and he may have even won it, but he had the most RBIs last week. Now, this is rarity. He hits a home run outside of his home ballpark. But exciting talent. He had a very good series against the Cardinals, and here he starts off with his 14th home run, 57th RBI. I was going to say that, he's, after a game, you go out to an establishment and you'd have 5 or 6 of your teammates around you. After you relaxed a little bit, one of the veteran guys would say, hey, that third at bat, what were you thinking? Young player go, I don't know. He goes, well, that's exactly what it looked like. Here's the scenario. Here's what you were, what you should have been thinking. And that's how we learned our baseball.
This is hit to the opposite field. Holiday backs up a step or two to make the catch. Tony Gwynn was really one of the first to analyze his own swing with video, and after every game he would do that. But he and his brother, remember when they were teammates,
sure,
they would be the last guys to leave the clubhouse, and they were just sitting there at their lockers and talking baseball.
Yeah, it used to be. Now we know guys get to the ballpark 6-7 hours early, but they don't stick around. Where it used to be a norm that, like you said, clubhouse kids would want to leave, but guys were holding court inside a clubhouse after a game.
Do you believe that that's necessarily good to have guys get here this early? And I'm sure for some it is, but maybe for others it isn't.
In my mind, it's what do you do for 6-7 hours?
It's a breaking ball strike.
Sometimes you need to get away from the game a little bit, relax, have a life. But some players today eat every meal in the clubhouse.
2-2.
We never had video machines. We never had anything to look at. We never even had stats and a stat pack in the clubhouse. And I could see the value of that, just to look and see if a guy has gone to plate 600 times and you find he's only walked 6. Well, then when you fall behind, don't groove him. He's going to swing at it.
Cedeno strikes out, and it brings in the 8th place hitter, Snyder. It's a spot here.
Bag set up away right there, tries to frame it. Corey Fox tracks right on the block.
A lot of the Cardinal pitchers have given Pags a lot of credit with his soft hands. They feel that defensively he is more than ready to be a guy that could catch at this level.
How about yesterday? 3 RBIs.
And a ground ball to Brendan Ryan. Throws to first. Alvarez, his home run measured at 427 feet over the Cardinal bullpen in right. Pittsburgh with a 1-0 lead. Poll, Alan Craig, Daniel Descalso, or Matt Pagnazzi. Text September, A, B, or C to 432-432. The Cardinals here in the bottom of the second will have Colby Rasmus, Daniel Descalso, and Brendan Ryan. Pedro Alvarez, who puts his ears in his cap, has given Pittsburgh a 1-0 lead. Rasmus had 23 home runs, 65 RBIs. Cardinals wasted a great opportunity. Bottom of the first with first and third, nobody out, and Pujols and Holiday coming up. Pujols popped out on the infield, and Holiday grounded into an inning-ending double play.
I've seen many times when Albert and Holiday do not get the job done, you know, the rest of the team kind of panics and too much pressure on them.
There's a fly ball, left center, one away.
Got a letter from someone, and looked at the mail today, and said the Cardinals had batters in front of Pujols who drive in 200 runs a year.
200.
200.
Set the all-time record.
The all-time record. I'd say he's not capable of it. You know, if he's leading the league in RBIs right now, and not the best on-base percentages at the top of the order.
Descalso has made a name for himself here last week or so. 1-0 pitch.
He's a 400 hitter right now with 4 RBIs, all 4 against Pittsburgh.
He had 5 hits in that series last week against the Pirates. His normal position is second base, as we talked about earlier, but Tony's been giving him a shot over at third, and always trying to find guys that at this level can be an interchangeable part. And as much as Tony uses those players, he's getting a look at Descalso at third base.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to see him hit. And so, you know, you accept playing a position that you haven't played since A-ball.
And he strikes out. First strikeout for Charlie Morton on the night. This will be on Wednesday morning, September 29th. It's the 6th annual career day. This Wednesday, prior to the Cards and Pirates afternoon game, there's a program featuring Cardinals executives plus current and former players talking about careers in sports. 345-9500, 345-9500. Andy Bennis, Kerry Robinson, some current players will be part of that. John Abamondi, who is the assistant GM here in St. Louis. Dan Farrell handles much of the marketing of the Cardinals, will be a part of that. And if you'd like to give your students a chance to hear all about it, come on down to the ballpark. 345-9500. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and nobody on. Brendan Ryan at .225, pair of home runs, 34 RBIs. Cardinals start play at 6.5 games back of Cincinnati with a record of 80-75. Once you know it, over the weekend they took 2 of 3 against a team that was sub 500. Chicago, something the Cardinals, when they point to 2010, can look at as to why they did not get into postseason play.
And it's hard to figure out why. Remember, Chicago had won 5 straight times prior to the first victory on Friday.
Adam Wainwright getting his 20th win on Friday. Towards second, and Walker makes the play. Cardinals go quietly in their half of the second inning. Alvarez with a home run. That's the difference so far. It's 1-0. Louis, be sure to put the Budweiser Brewery Tour on your list. See how beer is made. Brewery tours are open 7 days a week, and it's all free. We hope to see you soon. For more information, visit BudweiserTours.com. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
And you were just talking about the Cardinals and their inability to beat sub-500 teams. Just look at their own division, the Central Division. Cardinals 2 games under 500 in the Central Division. They've dominated 12-6 against Cincinnati. They currently have a 7-5 record against Pittsburgh. So everybody else in the division 25-33.
Man.
And there's a difference.
Fly ball lifted into center field. Jim Hayes is with us. And Jim, obviously a lot of the concern over the weekend was with Blake Hawksworth. He took that line drive on Saturday off his face and his mouth. How's he doing?
All things considered, he's doing great, considering what could have been if the ball struck him in the eye. He took about 30 stitches in his lip and his mouth area. Did a CAT scan back in Chicago, and that was negative. He left the ballpark today to have some dental work done. So he's a little sore, and Tony La Russa says he probably won't pitch again this season. But the good news is Blake Hawksworth will be okay.
Yeah, I can understand if he doesn't pitch, but psychologically he may lobby to pitch just to get that out of the way.
And remember, we were wondering about that. Al, I asked you, how tough is that going to be if he doesn't get on the mound this year, which apparently he will not. Then you have all that offseason to think about it.
I think there's a precaution. They keep it that way. But if he came and said, hey, for my own well-being, I want to go out and make at least one appearance. Let me throw one pitch on the mound. Let me do whatever.
Yeah.
You take me out.
Sure.
Trevor Miller told me he experienced the same thing in his first year of pro ball. He was throwing BP, took a line drive to the cheekbone, was out for 3 months, and he was a little skittish. He said he got the coaching staff to take him to a side field and hit line drives at him so he would trust his hands again and get over the fear.
Is that
he
right?
said it's not something that always happens, and maybe it won't with Blake, but it's something that he went through.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you don't really know. So kind of get it over the way, and then you don't let it linger over the off season.
That's ripped into the corner, and McCutchen, this will be an easy double for him.
His speed, it's fun to watch him run. Looks like Isaac Bruce.
And Isaac will be with us coming up in the 4th inning. And Jim, there's some news concerning the elbow of Adam Wainwright, who picked up win number 20 against Chicago. Wasn't throwing overly hard that day, and we talked about a lot of curveballs, changeups being a part of the repertoire of his pitches that day. But how's he feeling?
He's got some stiffness in that elbow. Tony La Russa says that Adams pitched through it, got a couple of wins with the stiffness in the elbow. Apparently it started when Adams slept wrong on the elbow, and it hasn't been the same since. Now, Adams saying it's nothing serious.
Descalso takes away a hit and an RBI. Fine play over at third as he was playing in with Tabata.
But Wainwright may miss his final start. Still has yet to be determined.
Halladay is pitching tonight. So trying to pick up win number 21. And there's where you see playing in. So you got a step and a dive. He looked the runner back and then has enough to gun him out.
So is Jimenez trying to get number 20 tonight, too.
So that may, if Halladay has a 4-0 lead in the 7th inning, if he wins that game, especially if he throws a shutout, that may be the difference. He might even lose the ERA lead over Halladay.
Here's a fly ball out to left field. Halladay makes the catch. Good play by Descalso. Saves an RBI. 1-0 Pittsburgh midway through 3. It's what we do. Jim Hayes, Al Rabosky, Dan McLaughlin with you. And just to follow up on Wainwright, Jim, it looks like he'll miss that start. Then it would be on Wednesday, correct? So P.J. Walters will get that start?
Yeah, that's what they're saying right now. Although they haven't ruled out that Wainwright will get one more start, they're kind of leaving it open-ended at this point.
Here is Pagnazzi. Now, another guy that's been injured is, you get a look at Carpenter on the left and Wainwright there on the right, is Yadier Molina. We know for sure he will not catch again this year.
Yeah, he was sent back home on that last road trip to get an MRI. The MRI showed some swelling around that sore right knee, but no structural damage. Today was the first time we had a chance to talk to Yadi since we got back from the road trip, and I asked him about it, and he said he understands it's the right thing to do, not only for him, but if the organization is telling him to do it. But he would love to be out there playing if it were feasible. He also said that the concern was, even though that he can't damage the right knee any further, by favoring it, he could injure something else.
And Pagnazzi taps one foul. Now, when you think about it from John Mozeliak's perspective, and you're trying to figure out where you can allocate all the money, Matt Pagnazzi becomes important, and Brian Anderson becomes important. Now, I'm not talking about spending $2 or $3 million on a backup, but Pagnazzi would be a guy that would have rookie status next year, makes the league minimum. You're trying to sign Albert Pujols, and let's face it, if you're a backup and Molina, knock on wood, is healthy, you're not going to see a lot of time as a backup anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of people think that maybe they need somebody that could catch 40 games a year. I'm sure Molina's going to say no way, but you know, and you think to get that, you know, maybe you're talking about $1.5 million. So you know, it's at least $1 million you're saving, if not, you know, 1.1.
Now I'll turn it around on you. I'll say, well, maybe is it important though to get a guy that can give you 40 games because you're trying to save some of the wear and tear on Molina?
Well, that's the case. Now, I think it also depends on how many other needs, and let's say there's a lot of needs. Which ones you get done and prioritize those.
So 2 strikeouts for Morton, and you can visit the official online shop of the Cardinals at Cardinals.com. Team gear, T-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Shop the Cardinals at Cardinals.com.
Certainly Anderson hasn't gotten as much of a look as Pagnazzi, but I can tell you that the starters on this team rave about the way Pagnazzi handles himself behind the plate, the pitches he calls, and the tempo he sets for the pitchers. I said the other day, he says he looks at a lot of video of Yadi so he can emulate what Yadi was doing, so it's not something drastically different when he takes it behind the plate and works with the pitcher.
0-2 on Kyle Loesch, and he strikes out. So first time through, 3 strikeouts for Morton.
I had a scout that is a major league scout, but he also has the entire Cardinals minor league system, and in his mind, he likes Stephen Hill as an offensive player over, say, an Anderson, because, you know, Hill's got the potential to knock a ball out of the ballpark, where Brian Anderson has been noted as an offensive player, but he pretty much is singles hitter. He's still very young.
And a little bouncer up the middle, base hit for Schumacher. Skip is 2 for 2. 2-out base hit. The Cardinals with 3 hits tonight, and 2 of them from their leadoff man.
Daniel in the hole, and so this ball bounced up the middle he couldn't get to. Hopefully Alan Craig can continue his hot hitting.
Craig with a base hit back in the first inning. How about Kyle Loesch in getting this start tonight?
Well, I asked Tony before the game. I said there's been some ups and downs with Loesch as he's attempted to come back from that forearm surgery. Where do you think he is right now? And he said a lot better off when he first came back, and that's the way Kyle has to look at it. He says it takes time to get your mechanics, to get your body back to doing what it was before you had that lengthy absence from the game. And he said, and confidence is an issue. He hopes Kyle goes out there, pitches well, and has some positives to take into next season, because he said they're going to need him.
Well, he's under contract, and he's got a very healthy contract for 2 more seasons. And I think some people might have, meaning Jim, might have thought I was being harsh on him when I was saying he needed more time in the minor leagues. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you're out for 3 months, give the guy a fighting chance.
In hindsight, it may just be that you were onto something.
Thank you.
Pains me to say it.
Another base hit.
Little floater into center field. This will be the greatest Exmo replay you've ever seen. Here it comes. See a lot of players spit. Well, we got Charlie Morton spitting, and that could have been a spitball. I don't think a lot landed on the ball.
Yeah, he missed.
He's got bad aim. Did he miss?
Yeah.
He
Oh,
missed.
yeah.
I thought a little bit got it. He got a little on the back of his hand, and that was about it.
Maybe on the back of his hand, which it doesn't help. You know, I
told you it was a great Exmo replay.
I took a crash course on how to throw a spitter. At the end of my career, you try to do anything. And so Phil Regan, who, by the way, was one of the most religious men in the game, but he was also threw a spitter. And I took a 3-day crash course. Phil was at a college in northern Michigan, and Junction or something like that. And he said, okay, we use slippery elm. Slippery elm, and in the gym I had a great one. Of course, it was dripping.
Hey, what is slippery elm?
Slippery elm throat lozenges.
Up the middle of a base hit. Here comes Skip Schumacher, and Pujols has tied it up. Albert Pujols with RBI number 117. And after Morton struck out the first 2 of this inning, back-to-back-to-back singles for the Cardinals.
Just enough to get it on through. Playing him in the hole. Another ball right back up the middle. And he comes up with another RBI, number 117. He leads the league in that department. Also in home runs, and is taking over the lead in the Cardinals batting average. There you see the RBI leaders in the National League. Slippery elm throat lozenges.
3 RBI lead for Pujols over Gonzalez. And here's Matt Holliday. 2 outs and 2 on. A lot of talk about the Giants being upset with the humidor,
or lack
thereof, in Coors Field. That when the Giants are hitting, the humidor's in place with those baseballs, and when the Rockies are up, it's the old baseballs.
You know, it's not the first time somebody has tried to cheat, but that'd be pretty hard to.
There's a rocket off the bat of Holliday. Play at the plate. No, they'll cut it off, and Pujols is out at third. But the Cardinals take the lead on RBI number 101 by Matt Holliday. An absolute rocket in the left. Isaac Bruce is coming up next. Well, he is a fan favorite here in St. Louis, number 2 on the NFL's all-time receiving yards list, number 5 on the NFL's all-time receptions list. He also has more than 1,000 career receptions, more than 15,000 career receiving yards, and the list goes on and on and on. Isaac Bruce, great to see you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man.
Great to have you back in town. And you have a big event coming up. The Rams will officially retire number 80. I see that puts a smile on your face. You got to be looking forward to that.
You know, I'm truly honored by the gesture. Considering the two guys that wore that number 80 before I did. That's Henry Elliott and Mr. Tom Fears, who's currently in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Right.
I'm truly honored for them to go ahead and retire that number in my honor.
Well, your next step is the Hall of Fame. I know you won't say that, but I'll go ahead and say that. And your number 80 will be retired. But let's make sure and get this out, because there's so many different ways I want to get into this interview with you. You've got a big day coming up on October 29th, and that'll be before the Celebrate 80 on that Sunday.
Right. We're calling it Celebrate 80. 80 will be down at Lumiere Place. People down there have been so wonderful. They're helping us out. And the best way to get in contact, the tickets are $80, but to get a ticket, just go ahead and call the IsaacBruce.org Foundation, request for a ticket, or you can call 314-369-4074. My director picked up and made.
Where does the money go to? It's, again, 314-369-4074, or visit Isaac Bruce, one word, IsaacBruce.org for more information.
Right. All the funds will be going to the Isaac Bruce Foundation. As of 2006, we've given away $192,000 in scholarships and food drops, and we're currently with the idea of giving out more. So we're doing a lot of good things in the community, in this current community here in St. Louis and back in Florida.
How about this place, St. Louis? What does it mean to you?
Oh, it's awesome, man. I came here in 1995, not really knowing too much about St. Louis, other than, we had the arts here, and Red Fox, one of my better comedians. But when I got here, people just embraced me. I was able to get in the community and meet and greet a lot of people, and had a great time here.
Now, can you be an analyst here?
I can do that.
All right, here's a replay. Let's hear Isaac Bruce do a little football here.
Well, it's last play going into the two-minute drill. Kurt Warner drops back and just heaves one into the air, and you can see his arm gets hit a little bit. Freddie Miller kind of just missed the block a little bit, and I come underneath, and I just finish it and take it home.
You never get sick of seeing that, do you?
Not at all, man. I can watch that any time of day, 2 times on Sunday.
How often do you talk to the guys from The Greatest Show on Turf?
Well, what's funny, they're going to be at this event, Celebrate 80, this October 29th. But, I probably talked to Torrey. The last time I talked to Torrey Holt, it was probably 2 weeks ago. He texted me. I saw him on television this morning. He's doing a great job doing a little analyst work. Oz, Marshall Falk, we text each other back and forth. So we kind of keep the juices flowing. The fire is not burning as hot as it used to be, but it's still alive, though.
Now, are you going to follow in Kurt's footsteps and maybe do a little Dancing with the Stars?
You know what? Every show I've been on this week, I've gotten the same question, man. And what's funny is when that show first came out, I got an invite and I turned it down. I was so focused on playing football and making sure I was there for my teammates. But, if it comes back around, I'm retired now, so we'll see what happens.
Isaac Bruce has been kind enough to join us, and you threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Now, do you have any baseball in your background? We know about the football. What about the baseball?
Not at all, man. I'm strictly a Florida guy, and football is king in South Florida. And that was actually my very first pitch on a professional mound.
Stay with us right here, okay?
I'll do that.
Isaac Bruce is with us, and as we head to break, well, he's getting tips from one of the best in Albert Pujols. But how did that pitch go? We're going to show you. 2-2 midway through 4. Cardinals live, and you can stop by the Helitech desk at Busch Stadium to be a contestant. Catfight tomorrow on the pregame show. Isaac, close your eyes. I don't know if you want to see this, but it wasn't bad.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. You know, I was doing my best Pedro Martinez impression, and I was going to make sure that ball didn't hit the ground, and I was going to do a whole lot better than President Obama.
Oh, and you did.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, did Albert give you any instructions?
You know, he told me he's going to bring out his big mitt and just give me a big target and just let me throw it right down the pipe.
Isaac Bruce is with us, and we're delighted to tell you about his event coming up on Friday, October 29th, once again. And the tickets for Celebrate 80 are at 369-4074, 369-4074, or just go online to Isaac Bruce, all one word, isaacbruce.org. You look to be in great shape.
I appreciate it, man. I'm still doing a little.
So you're able to walk away from the game and you feel okay?
Oh, yeah. You know, my biggest thing was when I retired, I always wanted to be able to say that, you know what, I have another series in me. And guys ask me, can I still play? Yes, the answer is yes, but I'm taking those plays and those years back with me at Fort Lauderdale when I retire.
How about moving them to Earth City and maybe becoming a coach? Let's put you on the spot. Let's get you out there.
You know, I did a little coaching up at the Bears camp, and they're on Monday Night Football tonight.
That's right, Green Bay.
You know, I helped some of the wide receivers. I have some knowledge. A lot of guys gave me some knowledge when I was coming in, and I have a lot of knowledge to give guys. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I figure that if you're in Chicago and Mike Martz is there, he's probably tried to talk to you about coming out of retirement, number one.
Yeah.
And then you have to talk to the receivers about what this guy is saying because he's a madman.
And don't take it personal.
And don't take it personal.
He's only here to help you. So that was my thing. I was kind of the peacemaker in training camp, make sure guys, you know, just you know, have soft skin and really develop tough skin when you're dealing with Mike Martz. So, but you know, he's one of the better minds in the NFL, and I love him to life.
Cedeno looked like he should have had it out of his glove, and it winds up being a base runner for the Cardinals. Nobody out here in their half of the fourth, and we're tied up at 2-2. Isaac Bruce is with us. What do you think about the current Rams? Have you seen much of them? Do you follow them closely?
Actually, I was at the game yesterday, and I think they played really well. They're starting to get after it. I think they're starting to believe. I think the biggest thing that they're missing is just confidence right now. You know, once confidence starts getting in the team, you start taking on the mentality of the coach, the guy that's leading you. Good things going to happen. So I'm hoping for the best for the Rams.
How about Sam Bradford? Here's a guy that's a rookie and started in his first game, and boy, oh boy, he looks pretty good. You
know what? He's a guy that we need to keep him upright. I mean, make sure these guys don't take shots on him because he's a special guy. I don't want to anoint him right now, you know, just being the next great quarterback. I want to give him a little bit of time to get seasoned and make sure he goes out and perform like we believe he can.
Isaac Bruce is with us, and again, his event, October 29th at Lumiere Casino. And number to call, 369-4074 or isaacbruce.org. You can find out more there. I'm curious, and we talked about some of your former teammates, but one of the guys that folks here in St. Louis love, after he won the Super Bowl, initially, I'm not sure they might have wanted to run him out of town, and that's Dick Vermeil. How about Coach Vermeil?
He'll be in town. He made sure that he'll be here for the jersey retirement ceremony, and maybe he'll show up at the Lumiere place with us and celebrate 80.
It's a liner that's going to be a double play ball. Caught it short, and a throw to first for an easy double play. And Descalso lines into two, and a 2-2 game. What keeps you busy outside of training camp with the Bears? And your foundation is doing great work. You've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for kids, but what keeps you busy?
Well, I have a brand new daughter, Isabella.
Oh, congratulations.
She's 9 months, thank you. She
keeps
me busy. I get a little sleep. You know, she's sleeping through the night right now. You know, I'm working in the ministry as well, so I can get out of the house and go out and meet people.
That's great. Yeah. That is great. So 9 months old.
9 months.
Get ready. Well, it only gets better.
It does, and I keep telling her she won't be the only child because she, you know what, she likes things her way right now. She likes moving around the house, and I'm kind of chasing her because she's learning to walk right now. So that's a handful.
Well, you know she's going to get into your wallet too. You know that's coming.
Before she got here, she was into my wallet.
Isaac Bruce is with us, and here is Brendan Ryan with 2 outs and nobody on. I'm curious, too, about how often you get back to St. Louis because so many people have so many fond memories of your team, but especially you, Isaac, because you did so many good things here in town.
You know, I keep a place here in St. Louis. You know, things come up, and I'm still very visible in the community. So anytime something comes around, I just fly out from Florida. And plus, you know, I like the Cardinals. The Cardinals always played well since I've been here in town. And I'll come up and catch a game or two.
Now, Pujols, are you sure he didn't give you any advice?
He gave me no advice, man. You know, my guy's always been Yadier Molina, man.
Really?
I think he's one of the clutch players on this team. He did some clutch work back in the playoffs here recently. And, you know, he's one of the guys I was really interested in meeting.
Your favorite memory when you look back to your time here in St. Louis?
One of my favorite memories just what we got here, man. Not many people know that we played football games in the old Busch Stadium when we first got here.
Yes.
So we play on that field. Half of it was turf, and just about a quarter of it was this clay stuff that these guys play on. So, you know, just having those games, we played Thursday night games on it, and the city was rocking. They was really excited about having football back in St. Louis.
I don't want to bring up the 49ers game back then. That was a rough one.
It's cool, man. I don't mind. I got my revenge.
Isaac, great seeing you.
You too, man. Thanks, Doc.
You bet. Isaac Bruce, one of the all-time greats. Next stop, the Hall of Fame. Historic season with a pair of home runs, ending the year with 70 and a 6-3 win over the Expos. Our Schnooks, this date in history. 70 that year for Mark McGwire. And once again for Isaac Bruce, Friday, October 29th at 7, Lumiere Place Theater, downtown St. Louis. Ralph Butler Band will be there. They'll have special guests, as Isaac told you, from the championship teams. Some current players there as well, all to benefit the Isaac Bruce Foundation. Tickets start at $80. And tables and sponsorships are still available, 369-4074, or visit isaacbruce.org for information. What a class act. A great football player.
Yeah, you better believe that.
Wonderful man. A low strike. 3-2 on Charlie Morton.
Yeah, the Rams really have done a good job since coming into town and getting involved in the community. And Isaac, prime example.
There's a fly ball to shallow right. Craig was playing in. And there's one away. Bring the family down this Sunday, 2 hours prior to the Cardinals game. And it's our final Family Sunday, courtesy of North Star 345-9000 or Cardinals.com.
On a nice note from Grace Westmoreland from Patterson, Missouri, and I wanted to just say hello to a very, very special young lady, Jewel Childress. Said her late husband Carl played for the Cardinals back in 25 and 26. Jewel is just a young 103 years old, never misses a ball game, still lives by herself, and doesn't look half her age. So thank you for all your support over the years, Jewel.
And a strike right down the middle to McCutcheon. A breaking ball and a late strike call. We were kidding between innings. I said to Isaac, how did you survive the Tony Banks years?
He's a dog lover.
The only target every Sunday. Poor Isaac would be limping off the field, and there'd be balls coming at him then.
What was his dog's name?
Felony.
Appropriate?
Mm-hmm. Tony had a big, strong arm, but that was about it. Two-two game here in the fifth inning. McCutcheon has doubled and also grounded out to third.
Our buddy Sam is back here, and one of the other first ball participants, first pitch. And I was telling Isaac that Sam had a better arm, threw a better first pitch. Isaac didn't agree, but I said, hey, we all can judge.
And Sam is part of the Catch 22 Foundation being honored. And Mike Matheny. Catch 22 Foundation is what Mike has put together. And the Miracle Field in Chesterfield, which has had a huge impact on local kids with disabilities.
And Mike has a golf tournament for the Catch 22, which is next Tuesday, right? A week from tomorrow.
I believe so. And he'll also, this was announced today, he'll be honored in November with the Variety 2010 Champion for Kids Award. Ozzie Smith has won that. Jack Buck, Stan the Man, Bob Costas. Liner to left. And is it a catch? No.
Trap. Holiday either did a great salesmanship job or really believed he caught it. He's trying to tell our second base umpire, Chris Cuccione, that he caught that ball. Now, a line drive like that, umpires will say they can't run out there because their eyes will be bouncing. Oh, he clearly trapped it. So he is a tremendous actor. I don't think there's any doubt that he trapped it, right?
We'll see again right here.
Watch it again. He traps this ball.
Clearly.
But good acting. Doesn't hurt to try, does it? But an umpire will tell you, on a line drive hit so quickly like that, if they try to run out there, then their eyes are going to be bouncing. So they're better off almost getting down on a knee, try to get stationary and just get the best look they can.
Ask Derek Jeter. Sometimes it pays off.
That's right.
His was a bunt that hit the knob of the bat, and he played it as if he was hit by the pitch and awarded first base. Well, Joe Madden was ejected for arguing.
And, you know, we all compliment the umpires in an effort to get plays right. You know, if they have to have a powwow and let other umpires may have a better view. And I remember a game at Old Bush Stadium, Barry Bonds out in left field. And he kind of dove for a ball. And the third base umpire called it, who had his back to the play, where everybody else, everybody from the dugout on over, from first base dugout on over, including the first and second base umpires, clearly saw the ball lying there. And I can't remember who the umpire was, but insisted he got the play right, and really just made a fool out of himself.
Sure.
It was natural because the way he slid, you know, he couldn't see the ball, you know, that was in his belly side, and he had back to the third base line and into the umpire. And when the ball was laying there, and you know, he couldn't see it, but everybody else in the field could see that it was lying there, and he would not make or ask for help.
And some people have said, would you include instant replay on plays like Derek Jeter's? And Major League Baseball has come out and said no, that will not change for postseason play. And we had Bud Selig in the booth at Wrigley, and one of the things I asked him about was maybe adding a second wild card team. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, I wouldn't mind at all. In some way, to kind of penalize wild card teams.
And that's
have
what,
another round.
Sure. Let those teams beat up on each other, while the other teams, while earning their way into postseason by winning the division, maybe can rest up and then set the rotations.
Sure, and the wild card team who has to play just tough baseball game after game after game. Then you had 2 wild cards team use their best pitching and penalize them if whoever advances. How do you do it with a 162 game schedule?
Very tough.
And next year we're going to start March 31st, as they're trying to end the World Series.
No games in November.
Yeah. Depending on the site, what's the difference? A couple days.
Could get cold in Minnesota, cold in New York, cold in Boston, and Chicago.
And we have opened up games on March 31st before, so it's no big deal.
2-2 is a base hit into right field. McCutchen stops at second base. And a 1-out base hit. Tabata is 2 for 3. Our AT trivia question: which current Major League franchise has the most 100 lost seasons? And the Pirates come in at an even 100. Oakland A's with 16. Pittsburgh 5th most with 8. That's what now, 18 consecutive losing years.
Yeah. Now, is that 16 times as the Oakland A's?
Maybe just the A's franchise.
That's what I'm thinking. The A's franchise, which would be, Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Oakland.
You can cross one potential free agent off the White Sox list moving forward. That's their manager. Ozzie Guillen is staying put, and he has announced that he's coming back next year.
Really?
So
now, there was an option, right? His option.
And apparently
another year or something.
Guillen, along with Jerry Reinsdorf and Kenny Williams, their GM, all met today, and Ozzie Guillen is coming back.
And that is a big factor involving Tony La Russa. There's a lot of the conspiracy theorists were saying that Tony would go to the White Sox.
There's the breaking ball and a base hit. They'll test Allen Craig. McCutchen to the plate, cut off by Pujols. They'll throw behind the runner, and Schumacher is there. Heads up play by Pujols and Schumacher. So base hit, RBI, Pittsburgh on top 3-2.
See that breaking ball down and in, so McCutchen will score. Tabata is going to third base, so it was a fake. He comes in, he throws it, hits the cutoff man. Albert looks to third, spins around, and look at the, as you said, Schumacher right there perfectly. The deke, when he looked like he faked the third, all of a sudden Walker's trying to take the extra base, and when he spun quickly, all of a sudden he found Schumacher right there with the ball.
Here's Garrett Jones. Remember, the coach cannot touch the runner. This is very close. We saw in Washington, they tried to pick up, you might remember, Niger Morgan after he scored at home plate. And one of his teammates picked him up after he went past the plate area to have him touch home plate. He had not touched it yet, and that was an automatic out.
There was a situation there that Tony Beasley was not trying to be involved there. He was watching the runner going from first to third. But you got to get out of the way. Now, I have seen third base coaches actually grab a guy and throw him back to the third base bag and just get caught up in the moment. But that was not the case there. But
runner at third, and that's in the dirt. 2 outs, 3 balls, 1 strike on Garrett Jones. Pair of ground outs. He's 0 for 2. We're in the 5th, 3-2 Pittsburgh.
This team has lost a runner on the base paths when they're in the middle of a scoring opportunity.
A 3-1 pitch. Misses low and outside. Catch all the action of the 2010 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 6th. That's the division series on TBS. And out to visit Dave Duncan. No activity in either bullpen.
Recently, Loesch has gotten a lot of trouble once he gets 2 outs. So I think they're going to try and stop that right now. Just slow him down. Just sit there and, just make some good pitches. Three straight hits and a walk, and Alvarez has been a real problem for Loesch here tonight.
Big night for Pedro Alvarez. First time up, launches a long home run, well over 400 feet.
Down in the middle of the plate, then a similar type pitch. This one stays in the ballpark, but right off the base of the wall. So 6 total bases in 2 at bats. Now he's got runners at first and third, and they're leading by 1.
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. A broken bat, little floater out to left, and a base hit. Misplayed by Holiday, so Jones on his way to third. Base hit and an error. So base hit, RBI. 84 now for Jones. Or excuse me, for Alvarez, as Jones winds up at third. That's 57. And numbers 58 today for Alvarez.
Right off the end of the bat, breaking the bat.
And now it's John Bowker, who is flied out and also grounded out. Pittsburgh is out, hit the Cardinals 9-7. Jim hit on something earlier that's very important, where Tony La Russa is stressing to Cal Loesch, worry about how you feel physically, and we'll get it all figured out, hopefully, spring training, and have a fresh start going into next year.
Tony has used the word loss of confidence several times when describing Loesch. So easiest way to gain some of that is get a couple more victories. He's had a rough outing before, or his last time out against the Pirates, but had pitched pretty well prior to that time. We just want him to finish on a good note and then just put everything aside. Know that you are fully recovered from that right forearm surgery, and just go back out and get off to a good start next year and really build your confidence back up.
You watch this Cardinals team and how they finished, and you think about what they did against the Phillies right after the All-Star break. Remember, on that homestand, they won 7 of 8, and the only game they lost was to Cole Hamels. They're trying to make it 8 straight. And the Phillies are 93-63 and headed to postseason play again.
Beat the Reds, came back in first place, won that Friday night, and then Zambrano and the Cubs beat them, and they lost Saturday and Sunday, and then went on that 2-8 road trip, and that was it.
Strikeout of Bowker, and we're midway through 5. Pirates with a lead, 4-2. longer. Game 2 between the Pirates and the Cardinals tomorrow. Matt Pagnozzi leads it off, hitting .238, struck out back in the third. 4-2 Pittsburgh. Pirates with a run in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth. Cardinals got their 2 in the third. There's a base hit out to left center field.
And we don't want to get carried away because Pagnozzi really has not shown at the minor leagues that he's much of a hitter. But I remember in spring training, Mark McGuire saying, I don't know what it is about this guy, but I like his swing. And here was a nice, kind of just swing. Everything's kind of together, stays within himself, drives the ball out there. And he's had a very nice couple days of swinging it here at the major league level.
Here's Kyle Loesch. I like the swing of Jose Bautista. That's a swing I like.
52?
52 home runs for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And now he's starting to get hit in games. He got hit twice in the game the other night.
The next closest is Cabrera with 38 of Detroit.
And his career high prior to this year was 16.
And if you had Bautista before the season is leading the league in home runs, Al and I will pick you up personally and we'll head out to the casinos.
How much money do you think you could have made in Vegas on that one?
It's unbelievable. 52.
Maybe John Hall should be that lucky. John is celebrating his second 37th birthday today. So happy birthday from his wife and friends. Wife's Carol. They're both ushers here at the ballpark.
And Loesch is tagged out.
With your Vianney math, at 74 years of age.
The unfortunate thing about a guy like Bautista, he very well could be clean. And knowing with baseball's rules, he probably is.
Yeah, that's.
But that's always going to be now a stain on a guy that makes that kind of jump in power numbers.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's just kind of a wiry guy. He's not really nothing. No muscles bulging or anything else. And heck, the Pirates had him a few years ago.
Yeah,
just virtually a throw in the trade kind of guy, and just having a monster year.
1 out. Here's Schumacher. MLB Network the other night had him in studio, and they asked him about, why is he hitting the home runs that he is and has been. And he talked about an adjustment he made with his front foot, picking it up a little bit higher, and in doing so, he said he was able to keep his weight back, and his swing became all of a sudden so much more compact, and the barrel of the bat was getting through the zone.
Very smart guy.
Oh, very intelligent, yes.
And, they just rave about him and just, how he's really, he said, come into his own. And
that is remarkable, though. You got guys like Pujols, Cabrera, Dunn, Howard, not even close to 52. And he comes out of nowhere to hit 52. Now, if one of those guys hits 52, you're saying, okay, great year for them.
Yeah, it's like, or had another great year.
Right.
Put it that way.
Good block. 2 balls and 1 strike. And individually, that's one of the big stories this year. Bautista with 50-plus home runs. Pagnozzi with a leadoff single into left center. Sacrificed by Loesch, and here is Schumacher, who is 2 for 2 with a run scored. Pulls it to the right side, stays fair. And there's 2 outs. Make sure to visit Busch Bash this Friday, and it'll feature Bob Tewksbury. For specific details and future player appearances, please visit Cardinals.com/promotions. The artist will be here, Bob Tewksbury.
Good guy. Very creative with his caricatures and different things. And went back to school, and now is a psychologist for the Boston Red Sox in their minor league system.
2 outs and a runner at third for Alan Craig. Craig is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and a run scored. Cardinals back in the third. Saw Pagnazzi and Loesch strike out, and then with Schumacher, Craig, Pujols, and Holiday all with base hits. 4 in a row. On a hop to short, Cedeno makes the play. That sends us to the 6th, and it's 4-2. Pittsburgh on top.
The Brett Hall statue before the Blues home opener. Hall's bronze statue joins McInnes and Federico. It's a historic moment for Brett Hall, and you'll see it and hear it all. Blues hockey returns October 9th right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
How about that? Another statue for the Blues.
Yeah, that's great. And well deserved by Mr. Hall.
And that pitch is taken a little bit low. 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. We're in the top of the 6th. 90 pitches are ready for Kyle Loesch.
Well, that's something good. And Kyle has been averaging only 5 innings per start, so hopefully he can get through this one. Start extending the games a little bit more, preparing for next season.
Big gap into left center field for Ronnie Cedeno, who has a single and an RBI back in the 4th and was called out on strikes in the 2nd. May have chased a ball there.
That's part of pitching too, is to get a hitter to expand his zone. 3-2. He's trying to guard the plate a little bit, but I think both of us thought it was ball 4.
The 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit to third. And Descalso makes the play.
And you got to protect the plate, so on the full count, he chases again. Breaking ball down. It looks like it's down below the knees. And rolls right over the top and grounds out to the 3rd.
Here's Chris Snyder. And he looks at a strike on the outside corner.
And I know you showed Isaac Bruce throwing out the first pitch. I thought Sam threw a better shot.
Oh, Sam definitely was much better, and he's in the booth with us. And you told Isaac all about it.
Yeah, right in front of Sam, didn't I?
Here's a 1-1 pitch. It's taken a little bit low. Sam is here, part of the Catch 22 Foundation.
What a wonderful facility that Mike Matheny provides for our special friends.
And a low strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Catch 22 field at Chesterfield Valley. It's an all synthetic surface.
Two pitch. Hung it, but caught by Descalso. He's got a couple of tough plays over there at third base.
You got to be loving it, just getting that opportunity. And you're on your toes, line drive, and like you might have almost lost in lights or something, or almost took off on him. I got a nice little email from my Hungarian buddy, Denis Simonier, who went to minor league camp a couple years ago, and he was saying that Descalso was one of the guys he hung around with down in spring training, and was real happy to see him get promoted and have that big game the other day.
He was on the Caravan with me this last off season. One of the things I always say to folks as we travel around, you never know who that next superstar might be. And we have a lot of the young players that come up. Remember a few years ago, Brendan Ryan was the guy after the Cardinals had won the World Series, and he was bright-eyed talking to Randy Flores, who was with us, and a few of the other guys that had had a major impact on the team that year. And Brendan was Brendan. We had a lot of fun with him.
Pitcher gets a base hit. After a couple flyouts, he hits one back over the mound for a single. That's his first hit of the year.
First hit.
First hit. He was 0 for 23 with 17 strikeouts.
And it extends the inning to McCutcheon. Caravan's always a really fun time for us to go and visit with the fans. And the players, they get into it too.
Well, I really enjoy it because the guys give us that opportunity to meet some of the young stars coming up. And I remember it was several years ago, about 11 years ago now.
Albert Pujols?
Well, yeah, I guess maybe it was 10 years ago coming in. It'd be 11 next spring. But somebody in the front office said, well, why do you invite this Pujols, you know, why do you invite this kid? Well, because we think he's going to be pretty good. And some of those people on the Caravan got the first glimpse of Albert Pujols. I don't think we've been able to get him back on there.
It's been tougher.
Well, because he has a lot of duties in January, going over the Dominican and doing his humanitarian work.
Here's a 2-1 pitch and a ground ball hit to short. Force play at second. And McCutcheon is retired. 4-2. Pirates have the lead.
On Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cardinals win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of one at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. We turn to our text poll results. And Daniel Descalso has been the best recent call-up according to the fans. And we appreciate the votes presented by U.S. Cellular. We're in Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And Morton with a 4-2 lead. The Pirates out-hit the Cardinals 10-8. And here's Pujols. Before you know it, we'll be on those Caravans.
Yeah, Albert currently 312, Holiday 311. They've got a little battle for the team batting leader.
And before you know it, it's spring training.
That's why I like the Caravan, because it's right around the corner.
Yeah. So Pujols 1 for 2, picked up the RBI back in the third inning. 4-2 Pittsburgh. And a strike right down the middle.
And we don't know the final details, but we're hopeful that we'll be televising a few more games from spring training this year.
We'd love to hear that. And Cardinal baseball will be on Fox Sports Midwest next year.
Exclusively, from a local standpoint, still will have their full complement of national games.
And much of that is due to the fact that the Cardinals have been successful, and also because the national audience wants to see this guy. A 3-1 pitch. Pujols with a rocket into center field, base hit. Here's a question for you, Al, as we'll go pitch by pitch, presented by Chevrolet.
Breaking ball, fastball, breaking ball. Like the fastball again, and then fastball right back up the middle. Yes, sir.
My question would be, how do you look at the MVP? Meaning, do you give it to the guy that truly is the best player in the league? Do you give it to the player that is on the best teams? That guy that gets you over the hump to get into postseason play.
It's always subjective.
We might be tied on one swing of the bat. Deep left. Goodbye. Home run, Matt Holliday. Number 28. 4-4.
And 3 RBI night for Holliday. He's at 103. So just like that, they just got their bullpen going, but Holliday ties it up. So since September 9th, you can see these two guys just battling. Holliday actually a better average. The home runs go to Pujols, and we get a tie ball game. Appears this game is going to boil down to the bullpens, as Rasmus will try and hit. He is 1 for 2. You can see those two just comparing notes, and nice to see no friendly competition, no rivalry between them. They're just all just trying to do their thing, trying to help their teammates win. But I, for one, have always been under the mindset that if you have candidates that are very close, you've got to have a special enough year to get your guy to get your team to postseason. And I think Gonzalez gets a little skewed because of his .390 batting average at home, and so much more damage production at home versus on the road. And Votto's just had such a solid year. And even though Albert is leading in home runs and RBIs, He's won it 3 times already. You know he's always going to be a candidate. Without Bonds, he probably would have had 3 more. And I think this may be Votto's year unless Albert just goes on quite the run.
I tend to agree with you, but then I start really looking at the numbers, even beyond average home runs and RBIs.
Just trust, you know, just kind of from experience how the writers vote.
But I don't think there's any doubt he's had an MVP type season again.
No, I mean, he's going to finish in the top 3. There's no doubt.
Yep.
And he could, you know, if he finished first, we would never be surprised.
It's a little chopper to second. And Descalso is out number 2. This season, easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Great seats, great service on StubHub all season. So just head to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Brendan Ryan in a 4-4 game with 2 outs. Cardinals half of the 6th.
That was a birthday present, that 2-run home run by Holiday for Dick Asbury from Bettendorf, Iowa, celebrating his 90th birthday. Big Cardinal fan.
Roy Halladay and the Phillies are cruising against Washington. Jason Worth with a home run early on. Roy Halladay would be in line for another win, and maybe in line for his first Cy Young in the National League.
There's a guy that comes over from the American League with a reputation that he's going to be considered every year or has potential. And he is his first year in the National League. He hasn't disappointed any Philly fan. Happy birthday to Tina Knox of Arnold, Missouri, celebrating her 69th birthday today. Happy 69, Tina Knox.
Two. Cedeno up with it, low throw, and Ryan is out. Holiday, the home run, and 3 RBIs tonight. 4-4 as we head to the 7th. Rolls in. Matt Holiday with our Hardy's prime cut of the game. His 2-run homer is tied it up at 4-4. Just takes that vicious swing.
He's just so strong. And just actually got underneath that ball a little bit. Get it up there. You just felt like it was going to be a home run, but Nice to see it. Our Chevy called the bullpen. Denny's Reyes will come in here. You know the lefties are going to be used in this lineup, so he gets a right-handed hit right off the bat, but the lefties are coming. Walker on deck's a switch hitter. And then you've got Jones and Alvarez and Falker.
And that's out of play. 106 pitches tonight for Kyle Loesch.
No decision, so it's a lot better than an L.
So the Phillies, it's now official, have clinched their 4th consecutive National League East championship, 8-0 over the Nationals at Nationals Park. They also clinched the league's best record. 94th game and tiebreakers over the Padres and Giants. 1 away.
And with the way they're pitching has been the last couple months, they're going to be very, very tough once again to stop.
Roy Oswalt, outstanding addition. Halladay and Cole Hamels.
Halladay, I mean, you could make an argument the last couple months that he is the third.
I thought
he may win the Cy Young.
You know, with the fastball that Hamels showed here at Busch Stadium and is kept here in the second half, that just makes his changeup so much better. And then we have seen it for years with Roy Oswalt when he's right, just how good he is.
Well, we talked about it over the weekend, but you know, we had a lot of scouts right at the trade deadline say, well, he's not the Roy Oswalt of the past. And maybe that was true, but after his first start, he didn't have a particularly good one as they rushed him to get there. But since that time, he has just been a monster and as good, if not better, than he was earlier in his career with the Astros. Not a big deal of difference in Walker's batting average from the right side to left, but 3 times as many home runs and twice as many RBIs when he's batting left-handed.
Three and 1. Been hot his last 10 games. Neil Walker is from the Pittsburgh area. And it's a walk by Reyes. Go ahead run is on. One out and a runner at first. Cardinals need a double play. This will be Garrett Jones.
You got 3 left-handers in a row now for Reyes to work on. Where will Denny's Reyes be next year?
One instead of throw over.
A couple of young left-handers in the system, but nobody that you think would be really ready to take over a role out of that bullpen, as Trevor Miller has reached his contract status for it to be vested.
One out and a runner at first. 4-4 our score. And the 0-1 instead another throw over.
beauty of Denny's Reyes and Trevor Miller. When you're facing a club like Pirates, these lefties could pitch all 3 games.
One pitch. And a base hit down the right field line. Throwing to second base, offline just a bit. And it's second and third with 1 out.
Just hasn't had the command of that slider. Too much of the plate. Want this pitch away, and this leaves it right up and over the middle of the plate. And that'll be hit hard down into the corner. Get it out there far enough. A visit by Dave Duncan. No one warming up with the lefties all coming up.
And a visit with Dave Duncan. So second and third, 1 out.
Alvarez, the hitter, they're discussing, has really been a problem tonight. Now you see Salas going up, but Alvarez a triple away from the cycle. First base open. You got a lefty specialist out there. You may just say, hey, try and throw that slider away. If you're walking, you're walking, but maybe he'll pop one up. Maybe he'll strike out chasing a pitch out of the strike zone, and if he doesn't, you got the double play in order. Fastball in. Ignazi set in. Nice job to stop that as that ball was down and away, and maybe he was crossed up. Watch him set up inside. Watch where the throw is. And down there, slide across. Got enough of it to keep it in the vicinity. Well, he made sure he got that one away. Now he just got one in the dirt and one almost over his head. Now they're going to go ahead and put him on now that it's reached 2 balls, no strikes. So now they've called back Balker. Is this going to be LaRoche? Yeah. Maybe doing the Cardinals a favor, bringing up a pinch hitter, but I mean the way LaRoche is swinging, he may be called back if they make a pitching change. But he has really struggled. As Andy is snapped his 0 for 21 streak with his first pinch hit home run Friday night, but
and you say you may have been doing him a favor because you figured for sure with a lefty up, Reyes stays in, but right now he can't find the plate.
Salas is warming up. He should be warm if they wanted to go ahead and make that, but maybe they didn't want to see Doman. Another switch hitter coming hit here.
But this could be 2. Out at second. Double play.
That's our favorite.
LaRoche grounds into the double play. And it's time to stretch here at Busch Stadium. We stay tied. It's 4-4. Hyundai Grand Prize drawing will be this Thursday over at Union Station, and you can watch to see who will win a Hyundai Sonata from the St. Louis area Hyundai dealers. That's coming up Thursday at Union Station. Gallagher takes over on the mound, and our Chevy called to the pen for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Gallagher has pitched pretty well of late, been scored upon once in his last 7 outings. He was acquired from San Diego on July the 7th for cash considerations. He had 15 relief appearances with the Padres, no record of .540 ERA. Opponents have hit 274 of them. He gets the hard hitting Matt Pagnozzi. Pags has hit in 3 games now. He's 4 for 10.
There's another one.
Yeah, another line drive, really smoking the ball, hitting it well. I said he was a hard hit. Now right back at him over the head, and sure Hawksworth knows what that feels like, but glad to see this one not make contact. Stavino was going to be the on-deck hitter. Now he's called back, and John Jay will pinch hit or maybe sacrifice, more what you might think. Part of the double switch that brought in Gallagher is Alex Presley out in right field. He was their minor league player of the year. Got to keep Jay over 300, don't you?
You know, he would love to, and I'm sure Tony is looking at every possible positive scenario for him to have that happen.
Well, and here you've got him in a bunting situation, so if he does his job, he doesn't lose any points. Salas was warming up. It's Mott now.
And a perfect bunt by John Jay. Sacrifice 1-3 on the play.
Does his job, keeps the average over 300. He's at 301. Skip, another multi-hit game. That's 33 for him. And maybe something that might be a little surprising, but Schumacher's batted .313 with runners in scoring position.
And he looks at his strike. Schumacher, a good night at the top of the lineup with a couple of base hits and a run scored.
A nice letter from Edward Polak out in San Jose, California. Big Cardinal fan. And he was wondering about the leadoff hitter next year. Skip has done that job 21 of the last 27 games, but
in the dirt, good block.
Snyder bounced around back there. A little slider coming in there. Does a nice job. Acquired him from Arizona.
The 1-2 pitch with one out and a runner at second base. just missed.
Skip trying to finish with a flurry and get up into the 270s after a real slow start.
Average at 266 with a pair of hits tonight. We'll do it again. You take out that slow start, he has been where his career has always been, right at 300.
Yeah, he was 300 hitter the last 3 years, last 2 of them leading off, and primarily the leadoff hitter. His on-base percentage is .330.
And he looks at it right down the middle. May have been looking for something different. That's right down central.
Yeah. Guess it and guess wrong.
And Alan Craig with 2 outs. See if he can't come through here in the bottom of the 7th. The go-ahead run is at second base.
Craig 2 for 3. In 5 straight games. 8 for his last 15. He was the Cardinals minor league player of the year last season. Been up and down 5 times.
One 0 pitch to Craig outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Albert Pujols, who has an RBI, is on deck.
Fastball and jumped at it. Came up empty.
2-1.
Craig has hit at every level. And now with this little rush, he's hitting .242, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs in the big leagues. People are wondering, can he handle the fastballs here at the major league level? Kind of holds that bat, tilts it a little bit towards the pitcher, making a longer swing. Getting extensive playing time right now and making the most of it.
Craig having to protect the plate. Fouls it away, 2-2.
Shear 308, 1 home run, 6 RBIs with 2 outs, runners in score position. Somehow get the big boys up.
In the dirt. Doesn't chase the slider.
Yep, good job there to lay off it. Run it count full. How's our home plate umpire been tonight? We haven't mentioned Brian O'Nora too much.
Where's Joe West?
Joe considered that to be one of his better games.
I saw that.
And knowing Joe West, he firmly believes that.
And time is called.
Tony thought, he said nobody runs a game better than Joe, and he knows why he calls every pitch, why he calls it. So I think Tony's trying to say, well, he had 1 strike zone for the Cubs, 1 for the Cardinals, and it wasn't just a bad day, it was by design.
Don't get me started. You know what? Yeah, it drives me crazy.
I mean, I carry my umpire book just to rub it in on you. All good guys, Dan.
Cedeno, high throw, throws it away. Cardinals will take the lead on the air by Cedeno. He's had a tough night at shortstop and 38,592. Love it. It's 5-4 St. Louis.
Here's the error. Comes in on the ball. Comes up a little bit. Still, he just got underneath it. Throws it over his first baseman, Garrett Jones.
Now you could see that ball coming up on the heel.
Right, the heel, but it's still, you know, You reach in, you still find the grip, but kind of got underneath it, not on top of it. The ball sail. Albert will be walked 38th time, I think. His intentional pass, but this is also, I think, his 99th walk. '38th intentional, leads in major leagues. 99th walk here, and hey, Holiday's having the big night. Why not bring him up with an extra guy on base?
When the beginning of the season began, this is what we talked about. If you're not going to deal with Albert, you have to deal with Holiday. And then the question after that becomes, going into next year, who hits behind Holiday? Who gives you that presence behind Matt Holiday? He tied it up. He's got 3 RBIs tonight and 2 coming on one swing of the bat. That made it 4-4.
He's been 0 for 11 before he got an RBI single. And then now the 2-run home run to tie it. He surged out to talk to his battery. Cano Park working in the bullpen, but 26 errors in September, the most in the National League. They're getting close to the Cubbies. 2-21 in their last 23 road games are the Pirates.
Runners at first and second, 2 down, 5-4 St. Louis. Two and 0.
You're going to see some clubs too, Dan, that not only are they going to walk Albert, but they're going to pitch around Holiday. And whether Kobe's going to be that 5th place hitter in the future, or do you go out and get a big bat? At least when you had Ludwig, teams feared that 3rd big powerful bat. And Kobe, I think, is going to develop into that type of player, but they're still young players. You just don't want to give them too much pressure.
Good rip, 3-2.
Cutter there. Sometimes you trick yourself into thinking you can get it by them when you're pitching around them, and all of a sudden you go 3-2. Oh, I can get them. And look out. Holiday leads the National League in 2-out RBIs.
Runners go, and he takes a pitch high. Bases loaded. Bases loaded for Colby Rasmus.
Go back to your birthday, kid. His grand slam on his birthday in Cincinnati.
Strike one on Colby. He struck out back in the 6th inning, singled in the 4th, and a fly out in the 2nd.
That 24th birthday was back on August 11th. He hit the grand slam, first of his career.
got in on his hands. Strike two, 1-2 with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
He leads the team with his 140 strikeout, 141 now with 1 tonight.
And he strikes out. With the air by Cedeno at shortstop as we head to the 8th, gives the Cardinals a 1-run lead. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 11 hits aside, but a costly error by Cedeno has given the Cardinals a 5-4 lead, and hard-throwing right-hander Jason Mott comes into the ball game.
Very important late in the game, a very close game to see how Mott and you sort of audition for handling that 9th inning in the future.
And here is Cedeno. Single back in the 4th. Ground out in the 6th and struck out looking in the 2nd. John Jay stays in the ball game after his sacrifice. He's in right field. And that's out of play. That pitch at 96 from Jason Mott. He can bring it.
I think before this inning's over, we'll see the 98.
Slider that time. Against Mott, 2 for 3 with a home run.
We always talk about how hitters try to take pitches away from a pitcher. In the case, you just look nothing but dead red until you get 2 strikes. Then you have to be aware and just fight off that little slider or little cutter. But until you get 2 strikes, not too smart to look anything but the fastball. And that's what it's going to be, fastball away. The ball's up and in. Much more effective pitch than the one called.
Bobby Cox and the Braves going for it as they will have Tim Hudson and Derek Lowe 3 days rest starting tomorrow. Jair Jurgens is out with a bad knee. And Atlanta went into play tonight, trailing San Diego by a half game. So Hudson goes tomorrow on 3 days rest, followed by Lowe on Wednesday.
It's put down a 2 there, and it was 92 miles an hour. You know, normally that's a curveball, but now is 2 supposed to be his sinker? Because there was no break on it. Fastball away again.
1-2 pitch. And a base hit. Jay over to cut it off. Cedeno stops it first. The leadoff hit. Tying run is on.
Set up away, but the ball right back up over the middle of the plate. Gomit, switch in catcher, first baseman, right fielder. Got some pop in his bat.
And the Cardinals have turned a couple of double plays tonight. Key spots. Pittsburgh could have added some runs. And the base is loaded against Reyes. Grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. Runner at first and nobody out. Out at second. Back to first. Double play. Boy, Pujols is so good at that throw to second base. He makes it look so easy with the runner at times in his way. And yet he'll go over his shoulder or a target by Brendan Ryan and he'll hit him right in the chest.
Well, he has just tremendous confidence in his throwing ability. And he's not afraid to throw anytime. There, the old 3-6-3.
It's a big double play.
You hear about the elbow now. It's his left elbow that's kind of achy. Is the right one. His throwing arm has been had those bone chips removed.
Question for Tony La Russa in this ball game: can you go to Ryan Franklin, or is he off limits?
Probably off limits. But once again, why not find out about Mott going 2 innings? Or do you bring in Mitchell?
2 outs and nobody on.
Boggs, or even do Kyle McClellan.
Sure.
And I mean, Brian Franklin has done an outstanding job once again. He's blown 2 save opportunities. And I, for one, am very happy that he's talked in terms of coming back. Like, next year won't be his last, or keep the option open. But somewhere in my back of my mind, I might think that you may even think about getting a closer and then putting Ryan back as a setup man.
0-2 pitch. Doesn't chase. Ryan Franklin, 37 years old.
This is Presley, who went in part of the double switch. He's their minor league player of the year.
Two and two.
Inside fastball. We'll see if he can get this one there. He did. Good pitch.
Jammed him. That'll be caught. And sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals on top 5-4. And a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By AT Mobility. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. 5-4. Redbirds on top here in the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals with 11 hits. They've been out hit 12-11. And Chan Ho Park, who's been around forever, it seems like, working in relief for the Pirates. Chan Ho Park.
Yeah.
Saw him last week. The series in Pittsburgh.
Opponents only batting .239 against him. With the scoreless frame on Sunday, 2 scoreless frames on Friday. .277 ERA in 12 games this month. He's posted an ERA just under 2 in his last 18 games. He was claimed off of waivers from the Yankees August 4th.
This is Descalso. Ground out, line out, and a strikeout. 0 for 3 today.
And he's come back to earth a little bit as he was 0 for 2 yesterday. After 0 for his last 5 after having a 406 for 15 road trip.
3-0. Domit stays in the game. He's your catcher. 3-1. Descalso, Brendan Ryan, and then Matt Pagnazzi.
Kyle McClellan is warming up, so there's our answer.
And a leadoff walk. Cardinals certainly could use some insurance here, leading by a run. 5-4 in the 8th. See if they ask him to put the bunt down here.
Or is that a little bit too automatic, and maybe if you got a lead, how about the hit and run? Throws over and let the Don Russell, anybody paying attention, see if Brendan Ryan gives his intentions away.
Nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 5-4 St. Louis on a throwing error by Cedeno, allowing the go-ahead run to score with 2 outs. Ryan gets the bunt down, back to Park, who goes to second and out. Cedeno with a high throw stayed on the bag, and they get the lead man.
Chano off balance, but pounces on this ball. It's bunt too hard right back at the pitcher. And he just made up his mind that he was going to fire it.
Nifty play by Cedeno.
And hold on. He's got a lot of athletic ability.
Sure does.
Brendan Ryan not happy with himself, not getting a simple bunt down.
Pagnazzi a good night. Pair of singles and a run scored, 2 for 3. You have John Jay, the on deck circle, as he sacrificed his first time up, batting in the pitcher spot, and then stayed in the game.
Take a picture of the scoreboard. Pags is batting .304.
In late September.
Late September.
Take that for a full year.
At .242, 1 home run, 21 RBIs in 68 games at Memphis. Mark McGuire wants him hit up the middle, and he's done it twice with line drive base hits. A lot of clubs would steal off of Doman. You can get a good jump off of Chano Park. Coleman has only caught 6 of 73 base stealers, 8%. How about that?
And that's a base hit. 3-hit night. Ryan on his way to third. Pagnazzi back to the bag at first.
Who said take a picture of that 304 average? It just went up. Perfect hit and run if the hit and run was on. Ball up away from him, just goes right side. They had the second baseman close up the middle. Then Ryan goes first to third. John Jay's got a chance right here to add to the Cardinal lead.
One out, runners at the corners.
Pagnazzi 333 now. That was after 3 RBIs and a couple hits yesterday. Matt keeps on like this, he'll make everyone forget about his Uncle Tom.
Chased a pitch in the dirt, and it's 0-2. Over 3 million fans have come through the turnstiles again this year, including some that wear the outfits that you see behind home plate.
We haven't given them their due, have we? We just put the score for the box up there. We figured out what they are?
No.
There they are.
Why?
Let's just assume they're male too, right?
I'm not going there.
You see, we had another fan in Philadelphia run out on the field with an all spandex suit.
I did see that.
How about Mike Diaz with a little assist for the security?
Andy Reid is on speed dial.
He tripped the person, looked like a poor Spider-Man costume.
Mm-hmm. It's a good way to put it. 0-2 to John Jay. Here it comes. And that hit Jay.
No, I think it was a shin guard or something.
It almost looked like he swung at the pitch too.
And Chano Park was claiming that it hit Jay. Home plate umpire said no, hit your catcher. And Dolman is going to argue here.
Or are they also saying did he swing at it?
Yeah, well, that's maybe too, because they did appeal. Park's arm was in the way, but it sure looked like it hit him in the foot, didn't it? Get a better look. Looked like it hit the jersey. I mean, his pant leg, didn't it? Right around the shin. He doesn't flinch at all. All that hits him for sure.
So it's a wild pitch. It's a ball. And John Jay apparently didn't swing at it.
No.
Everything going his way.
Set down.
Park will throw to first. The Cardinals have added to the lead 6-4 with the wild pitch.
Pagnazzi, I think he would be on third base. Little swinging bunt. You would have known the catcher was not going to field it. Chano Park with his back to you. But he's going to be able to score on Schumacher's base hit.
So 2 outs and a runner at second base. And Schumacher, a couple of hits tonight. And McClellan just been standing out on the mound. He's warmed up and ready to come in. 2 outs and a runner at second. Schumacher lines it to short on a hop. Cedeno to first. Cardinals do get that insurance run. 6-4. McClellan coming in.
Go to the 9th at Busch Stadium. Coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, Pat Paris and Cal Eldred waiting in the wings. Holiday's big second half. They'll break it down. Loesch's keys for 2011. And we'll get Tony La Russa's post-game thoughts as well. Kyle McClellan on to pitch as we go back to the booth to Dan and Al, guys.
All right. 1 save and 2 opportunities this year for Kyle. And when he's right, usually he makes quick work of the opponent. Another very good year for Kyle. Record at 1-4, but a 2.39 ERA in over 71 innings this year. New third baseman in. That's Pedro Feliz.
Feliz will be back in this second spot. Cardinals, hopefully, we don't have to come back up in the bottom. Weird sight as you look at the arch over downtown St. Louis right now.
Well, it's been there for a while, Al. The arch.
The arch, but how about the moon coming right out of it?
Oh, okay.
You know, that moon's been there for a while too, but it kind of moves. Right now, it's just kind of peeking through the clouds, and a little bit will look like a little pendant coming right through there.
Who knew?
Kind of snuck up on us.
2-2 pitch.
It's like we never forget the day. A lot of Cardinal fans were listening to Mike Shannon broadcasting from Shea Stadium, and he's telling everybody back in St. Louis over KMOX what a beautiful night it was, and he wished everybody could see the full moon over Shea Stadium.
Leadoff walk, and the tying run will come to the plate.
And that is not the way you want to start the 9th inning. Cardinals got their insurance run last inning with a leadoff walk.
And this guy is dangerous right now. Arguably their hottest hitter.
2 hits tonight, was robbed 1 time, so 2 for 4. Second most hits in the National League since the All-Star break.
One thing the Cardinals have done well is turn double plays tonight. Cleveland could use one here with nobody out. Runner at first. 6-4 St. Louis.
Get that good breaking ball and get it down. Let somebody just pound it in the dirt. Didn't get the call there on the breaking ball. And Trevor Miller is starting to get up just in case. Get into one spot in this order where all the lefties.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second. Not much of a chance for Pagnazzi. Is
33 stolen bases for.
Looks like he's grabbing his left hamstring too.
Yep.
One ball and 2 strikes. Runner at second. Got him. Frozen with the breaking ball. And let's turn to our Budweiser player of the game tonight, Matt Pagnazzi. 3-hit night. 3 for 4 with the runs scored. Our Budweiser player of the game, Pagnazzi. Here's Neil Walker, runner at second, 1 out. Walker, if you're wondering, with 12 home runs this year. He's got a little power.
Let's see where the Pirates are starting to get excited about some of their young talent. But all boils down to, can they pitch well enough to not have to outslug the opposition every night.
1-0 pitch. In the air to right center. Rasmus makes the catch on the run. McCutchen was not tagging up from second, so he stays put. And there's 2 down. You got to wonder how well McCutchen is running and if he'll be available tomorrow night. Just watching him, he was limping a little bit. Just does not look comfortable after the steal.
Got a 2-run lead. It's the guy at the plate that you got to worry about. He's their leader in home runs and RBIs.
Garrett Jones. Strike 1.
Victory here today. You're guaranteed a .500 season. Well, the Cardinals want a lot more, but there was a time about a week ago you were worried about, could they get to 500?
Absolutely.
The Cardinals' 81st win, and the Pirates loss number 101.
Here's a little ground ball to first. This should do it. McClellan to the bag, and the Cardinals hold on for a 6-4 win. And that's how they start the final homestand. Big night for Matt Pagnazzi. 3 hits. Post-game show coming up.